Blow that one. That's duck hunt right there. That's that blow that duck out of the sky. Right. There's not going to be a market that high for J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt is now what you would call a team coach, a player coach, right? You'll bring him in. You may be able to start him. He may have enough left. He played 16 games last year, if you believe that or not. He played 16 games. So you may be able to bring him in and have him play. That creates a presence. Are you looking at him, depending on what team you bring him to, he might even be your best defensive lineman on that team, depending on what team. But if you're talking about durability issues, if you're talking about other players on the team, he would have to have the most insanely perfect suitor to get in those type of numbers, because just where we're at right now with J.J. Watt, it really is about seeing if you can have somebody that can add to what you already have. Like I've heard Tampa Bay, I've heard Kansas City. You're talking about a guy who wants to leave Texas. He left the Texans so that he can have a chance to win. So that's a very small market that he's in for. If it's not just about going to get the money, which you would assume if J.J. Watt, with all the things that he said to the fans, to all the things that he said when he wanted to leave, him saying what he said to Deshaun Watson, it's about him wanting to get a championship and going to a championship caliber team. He's not going to be the main guy on one of those teams. So if he goes to one of those teams, he's not going to get main guy money either. So I don't even know why we would even be having them put reports out there that he's commanding top dollar. It's really not about commanding top dollar. It's about commanding the opportunity to say, I won a Super Bowl. I'm a 3-time defensive MVP. I'm a first ballot Hall of Famer once I retire. Now that I got this ring, I'm going to go retire into the sunset. That's what this is really about. I'm not really certain why there's a leverage or a politicking to actually push numbers up there and inflate the numbers for a J.J. Watt contract.
I agree with you, LeVar. And as a guy that's been a reporter, I know why, because it came from his agent.
Of course. But why are you doing it? You know what I mean? Why are you doing it?
I hear you. And look, like you said, J.J. Watt, first ballot Hall of Famer. Let's start here. We know that the Houston Texans are not a well-run organization. If there is a team out there willing to pay him $15 to $16 million a year, then why in the world didn't the Texans trade him?
Mm-hmm.
Why did they release him? Why didn't they just trade him and at least get a second-round pick for him? He had $17 million left on his deal. Another team could have taken that, and you could have got something for Watt.
Very good point.
That's number one. But number two, to your point, J.J. Watt, throughout his career, throughout this Hall of Fame career, what's been the one problem? Health.
Durability, yeah.
And he's going to turn 32 in March. I don't think, LeVar, correct me if I'm wrong, he's not going to get healthier as time goes on. Now, granted, he's played 16 games 2 of the last 3 years. That's phenomenal for him. But he's played 16 games 2 of the last 5 years total as well. So I don't know even if I'm getting J.J. Watt. Right.
9 sacks over 2
sacks
seasons.
the last 2 years.
Yeah, that's not very productive.
24 games for him. Yes, he's not going to be the J.J. Watt that is going to make the Hall of Fame for you. And the teams we're talking about, I've mentioned, I'd love to see him in Green Bay. Would love to see him in Tampa Bay. First of all, those teams don't even have the money. They got other priorities they need to get before they go ahead and pay J.J. Watt $15 to $16 million. Kansas City, the same, I would think, is the same boat. New Orleans, they don't have that money to give him. So, and Pittsburgh don't have that money to give him. Is Cleveland giving him that much money? I just don't see this happening. Yeah. And as you said, LeVar, J.J. Watt has said he wants to win.
And that's why you left.
It's not just about money. Money's in there. It's not just about money. So prove us right and go to a contender. No.
Yeah.
Come on. $15 million?
Yeah, this is a bad job by the reporter. The agent's just trying to drive up the price, saying, okay, JJ's putting out these tweets that we've narrowed it down. Let's see if people can follow the mitochondria. All these mysteries out there. And then the agent just calls up a reporter, and the reporter is just like, yeah, sure, I'll report this. Who cares if I'm getting used? And, you know, 15, 16 million, LeVar, that's just not reality. And Chris made a great point. all the contenders are looking to lowball J.J. Watt. Hey, man, we'll bring you in. We'll give you $5 million, and with some incentives, we'll kick it up to 10. They're not, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Tampa Bay Bucks, they cannot afford 15, 16 mil. So if J.J. Watt wants to really win, he's going to have to take less money. Now, if he wants to go to a bad team and you know, make a lot of money, great. But he's already made a lot, LeVar. This is just, I mean, I'm sticking with my prediction. J.J. Watt to the Kansas City Chiefs, playing on that line. Patrick Mahomes gets him his ring.
Yeah, I think another way to look at this, because football contracts are very different than other sports, right? So you get a contract in baseball, basketball, it's guaranteed. Like, you got to give it up, right? No matter what. You better hope you get that amnesty clause, you get that going, because you're going to pay that money. Football isn't like that. You know, you could see somebody, you'd be like, man, he's rich. Oh, my gosh, he just signed a $100 million contract. And he only got like 20 of it. What do you mean he only got 20? He only got like 20 of it. So here's the thing. This is how it works. They might say, hey, JJ, we're going to give you this $15 million contract, all right? But we're going to backload the $15 million of like the vast majority of what we're going to give you this much up front. We'll give you $5 million, $6 million up front. But what we're going to do in terms of like all these big salaries or excuse me, big bonuses, we're going to say in year 3, year 4, you accelerate. So if you're still playing, you made this amount of plays, you're still on the roster, we'll give you a roster bonus. That'll be $2 million. We'll give you a Pro Bowl bonus. That'll be $1 million. We'll give you this. That'll be $1 million. They can hide it in a way where if he doesn't make it out of year 1, they could cut him as quickly as they brought him in, and it's gone. It ain't guaranteed money. So now you're talking about, is the contract negotiation about purely guaranteed, or are we talking about a contract where the number says this crazy, large, exorbitant amount of money that he's going to receive? That's the difference. Now, if we start hearing guarantees, then that's a different conversation. But right now, if he gets a large contract and they're like, oh my gosh, J.J. Watt's still commanding that type of money, take a look at what the guarantees are. That's where the true contract lies.